Hello.
Hello.
Ooh.
Hello. Well,
Hello, dear listener.
you were trying to beat the heat for another episode of Always Strikes Late. I regret to inform you, dear listeners, that there's no beating the heat anymore because we are in the Scourge of Akshi rather than the Scourge of Garan sort of days and in a brand new GHB where there is no escaping the flames or so it seems.
That's hot.
All is doom
It's hot.
and melty, soggy creases.
All dried out now. We got spicy war scroll.
Exactly.
Oh.
It's almost this kind of drastic change is almost enough to enrage a body.
Indeed. So with this new GHB, are we all feeling old yet? I'm feeling a little old. It's feeling a little oldie.
Mhm.
Back in my day.
I know too many cycles, too many turns of the wheel. All these rules just mixing together in that sludge, which constitutes my brain.
We
And,
really gotta see if we can get GW to stop the 3-year cycle, man.
Yeah.
It's vicious.
You're killing
It's
us.
fucking vicious.
You're killing us, Smalls.
Seriously. Still, keeping things spicy. I mean, definitionally so. So that's the topic of the day. This new GHB, new summer, new year of battles, new flavor to those battles, new challenges for you generals out there.
New objective markers, too.
Exactly.
Because they didn't want us reusing the old ones.
Nope, throw them away or put them in your bin or whatever you do with like the 50,000 semi-obsolete things that come out every year.
I would say sell them in 20 years, but is that really going to be a thing? Will anybody even be here in 20 years?
Hey.
Or will we have all burnt to a cinder?
Listen, when I was a teenager and had my Empire Army, and I got to see them come back as AOS models, so you know what? Hold on to your shit. It'll come back around.
Yep.
I know you're doing a bit new spice. It was a good pun. Don't get me wrong, but seriously, hold on to your stuff. It'll probably be relevant again.
I mean, unless you end Dark Elves, then you should set them on fire. Always.
Yeah. Well, that was an internet moment for the ages. Yeah.
It was.
But,
it will forever be the most hilarious.
Dude was from Seattle too, wasn't he?
Was he?
Right? Was he Seattle or Oregon? Like I want to say the Pacific Northwest.
I have no idea.
Well, that guy even in a lot of ways.
One guy's knew him.
This is like a legendary figure to have done that in protest. But really, he was just ahead of his time because, Dark Elves on Fire is, in fact, the theme of this GHB. They've been driven out of the cities. Who knows what they are? Wanted a great parch. Tough situation.
Listen, Anvil Guard lives.
Look at that pivot. Jack pulling us right out of a rabbit hole there. Amazing.
I mean,
out of the frying pan into the fire.
That's why they pay me the big bucks. Literally a cup of coffee a month with some of our
That's right.
Yeah, you want to get us the coffee too? We got a Patreon. All right, we'll
get there. We'll get there. A new level. Coffees for the crew.
Indeed.
So we joke. I mean, we are very thankful for all of our patrons who do help us keep the lights on and all this stuff. So all you guys out there, we love and appreciate you. Every little bit you do helps us do this. So thanks again. But yeah, guys, let's dive in a little bit. So as we are wont to do, beyond prevaricating, we do like to try to give some takes on what it means competitively with these new rules and all that. But we're going to start with the rules themselves to kind of set the stage. So let's begin with the realm rules. All that fun stuff from the Scourge of Garan out the door. Everything used to be obscuring, no longer. What's new? What's the new thing? Well, here we go.
You're angry.
You're angry, and that kind of shows up in a couple rules, and that's really the heart of the new book. So if you know nothing else, know that everyone's going to be angry, and that anger can be channeled in a couple distinct ways. So I'll start off by saying, as you begin the game in the deployment phase, there's something called Raising the Heat, where after you determine the attacker or defender, the attacker gets a fury level of 1. Remember that. Defender gets a fury level of 2. And fury level is a thing that can go up to 7, where it caps. And based upon your fury level, you get dice.
Angry dice.
Angry dice, rage dice. And that's the start of a battle round once per turn army. So there you go. Battle round begins. Eat your dice based on your current level. And that number is equal to your level, and you can spend them at any point until the end of the battle round. But again, remember, it'll be 0, 1, 7, but no more than 7 you're going to get this way. But what do you do with them? Right, here we get to the fun part. You can do literally two things until you get to spicy war scrolls or stuff that might come later. You might find in the scope beyond this particular episode.
Mhm.
In the GHB, you can either erupt with fury, fight to the pain. Erupting with a fury is at the end of any turn. You can pick a friendly unit of yours that's in combat with something, and you can use one of its melee weapons and spend up to 3 rage dice. Then you roll a dice for each of those rage dice, and you resolve a number of combat attacks against the target equals the number of rage dice you spent. The only difference between the normal profile of that weapon and the rage dice profile is that you can't get normal crit hits, so no crit mortals or crit 2 hits or any of that stuff. You just have a normal hit that does, for some reason, additional D3 mortal wounds to each enemy unit in combat with that unit if you get one of those. Or if you roll a 1, you take D3 damage that can't be prevented by wards as you, I imagine, flail your axe around and cut off one of your toes or whatever it is because you're so enraged.
So angry.
So angry. But that's like the big, you can do this, and it doesn't do anything other than give you this pain train of like red gravy for your opponent's demise.
Yep.
And
it's worth noting before we move on with that is not a pile-in fight. It's just a fight. So you can't pile your homeboys in and get him a little bit closer. That one dude, he just wants to be a little bit closer so he can get really angry. No, you're just the level. You're the regular level of angry.
Just a bit angry.
And you stand there. You're just standing and flailing. You're like stuck to the ground, flailing.
So not a bad way to be. And you know, just, you know, so keep in mind a reference that you're using the dice, you're not affecting your rage level with this. So if you somehow gotten your rage level high and you have these dice, you could be doing this at the end of each turn, yours and your opponent's. So with a dice left over even. So that's real spicy. Now, what about the other thing you can do with these dice? I mean, one of you guys talk about fight through pain, you know, what that even entails.
Sure. I got this one. Fight through the pain. Before allocating damage to a friendly unit, you can spend any number of rage dice. For each rage dice spent, reduce your fury by 1 to a minimum of 0, then roll a dice. On a 3-up, remove 1 damage from that unit's damage pool, which is really huge.
Yep, and remember how damage is allocated. So you would be able to get the ward and then choose whether or not to use these. So it's essentially a third save with a better ward than most armies have. So
even when wards were good, this is still better than even the good wards back in the day.
Yep.
So pretty interesting rule. But one of the things it does do, it is just 1 each, right? Yeah, it's just 1 each.
Yep, just 1 each.
I thought we missed something. Oh,
we did miss one thing, which is how you actually get fury levels in the base rules before you get to anything else, right? I did gloss over that. And that is when someone erupts at you, you know, just like it's a road rage incident or, you know, a typical family Thanksgiving, you come back in kind. And, you know, whoever has the erupting done upon them raises their fury level by 1 to a maximum of 7. So, in theory, if you're raging at each other, everyone's fury is probably going up by 1 a turn, unless you choose not to spend your rage dice, which would be weird, because these are free attacks, or you don't have the opportunity. But
I mean,
you know,
or if you're just saving them up to ignore that damage.
Exactly, or if you've dumped them all to ignore all the damage, have none left, or something. Yeah.
Well, remember
there are other ways to get dice.
Remember that they go away at the end of each round, so you can't save them for very long. They're here for a rage time, not a long time. See what I did there? I did it.
Oh yeah, I like that.
So they are kind of a quick use them or lose them kind of thing, and you'll find unless you're camping on those places of power that. You know, you're not really getting that much, but I'm leading us too far forward.
Well, maybe yes, maybe no, but I think it all does kind of combine, like before you even talk about these abilities, how you use them and all that, because the fullest picture of this is you need to know about the place of power, because that's like kind of the one other major change in the book, outside of having new tactics and missions and all that. And that is the terrain is no longer the exact same as it was in Soggy Days. If you guys remember the Soggy Days, such as they were, I mean, the big defining factor was everything seemed to have obscuring, right? Places of power had obscuring, other things had obscuring, your friend had obscuring, whatever. You could hug it, be invisible. And the places of power let you make things obscuring to let you do a couple other things, heal, whatever. They've changed that. Now, the only terrain that has obscuring is the obscuring terrain feature. So it's like woods or something. So it still exists, but it's much less common. It's not like hanging out in Nonsenseville. You can't have yourself just like tiptoeing into like some rock and be completely invisible to everything. So it's more like the neutral triggles.
Obscuring anymore.
Yeah, none of that. None of that. So everyone likes to shoot. It's much happier.
Yeah.
The big difference, though, is the new activate place of power ability has a couple things you can do. Kind of the one that matters for this purposes, though, is that you roll a dice on a 2+. You don't take the mortal damage, otherwise I'll click on you like a D3 or something. And instead, you can just add 2 to your rage level or your anger level, what we call it. So you start at 1 or 2.
Blood pressure.
Yeah, your blood pressure goes up.
Boom,
These
boom.
make it, if you have access to a place of power or have a camper on one or whatever, very easy to quickly get your rage up. And I think that sets the stage for this is going to be this really asymmetric game with these, I think, for people in the entire year of this GHB. That is, once you get your rage level to like 5, 6, 7, it's there. It's not going down generally outside of some bridge ability. And you're just going to be able to have tons of rage dice and always do your attacks and not worry about it. If you choose to, at a certain degree of finesse, use the power through the pain ability, your rage level actually does decrease. So you actually have to build it back up or, do whatever to recoup those investments in a way which someone who's just fighting and not worried about it does not have to do. So there's a certain level of like step change difference in these two abilities and the cost to you.
Well, and it's helping your opponent because you're giving them rage dice, right?
Exactly.
So there's a lot of interesting mini games that can go on in it for sure.
Oh yeah.
And it actually does tie into a couple of different things too. Places of power are now kind of becoming a little bit more important on the missions as well.
Yeah.
Just for things that you can do for the twist. And then they're interesting. I've played a couple of games so far with the new GHB, and they're not like game breaking. They're not stupidly overpowered because again, it's once per turn into turn, I think, right? Yep. Individual turn. So you've got literally one model that can just, fight. And this is not a core ability, so it's not going to work on your companions for your big monsters too. Yeah. So it's not as strong as I would think it would be. It is helpful. I did have quite a bit of fun when I ended up smacking somebody. But they're a nice little addition for like a small mini game. In my games, it was about 50-50. I used them or not.
You mean go interrupting with rage on someone? You always do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fair thing. I mean, one piece of asymmetry we're going to get off of this, I think, is that not all armies are created equal in terms of access to stuff that's going to do particularly well with this, right? I mean, good example would be like you can choose Scarbrand's Big Axe for this, the 8 damage one, if you have a Scarbrand. Or if you have a Clan Rat, you can have 3 1-damage attacks with nothing burgers attached to them. Obviously, that's not the best you're going to get. Yeah, I get 6s and all that, but If like the strongest thing you have on the table is like a 2 damage hero, then it's not quite as compelling as if you have like some monster truck of whatever type it is, or some like big hitter,
Yeah.
or Beltharion or whatever. But like that's what's kind of be funny with these. Maybe as less of an issue with all the regiments of renown floating around to give people access to cool stuff. But I think that's going to be the primary whose season is it, modifier with this stuff.
There are a couple of rules. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Rocco.
I was gonna say, and it's capped at 3 dice you can spend for Eruption of Fury, so it's
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it can be scary. It can be game changing if you got an enemy on one model left and he's contesting something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That you're not going to get on, and it happens to be a monster, and you just happen to have -2 rend, and you just happen to have 3 damage. I didn't do that at all. Not at all. I did not do that on one of my games.
It does seem rife for trixiness too, though. I mean,
it does. It really does.
You guys tell me about this scenario. I think this is going to play out a lot, right? So you a big monster.
Yep.
Doesn't have to be Scarbrand. It could be Scarbrand. Could be.
Yeah, it's Scarbrand.
It's Scarbrand. You run in.
Or Boom Thirster. Some people.
Boom Thirster.
Thirster.
Whatever it is. Gets in, you get your fight going. You smash. The fight resolves a bit. Everything's there. And you want to get your licks in. It's now end of turn. You do all of your end of turn abilities first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, end of turn 1, go crazy, erupt in rage. End of turn 2, power through and get the heck out of there. Let them not erupt in rage back on you. I mean, it's very direct to do that, right? Unless I'm missing something in order of operations.
No, order of operations, you should be able to do it. There are some other things too, like some caveats to think about, and that's choosing the model. Depending on the situation, it can actually be a little bit more disappointing because those crits change. Mm-hmm. So expect that your high damage model that you rely on crit mortals or crit extra attacks is going to do less damage if you're using this as like your last bet or something, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The other thing is that the 3 and a roll to ignore damage after you filled everything else is super powerful. And I honestly see that as like, I'm fine losing dice if it means that I keep a guy alive for one longer turn, especially in those situations.
Yeah,
so I feel like we're going to see a lot of players trying to play into it because a lot of the war scrolls do have these mechanics built into it too, where they're using rage dice. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if we're going to see a lot of like a loss of rage dice coming out of it. It's going to allow you to build your armies in ways where you can build towards it, you can build for defensive, or because you can almost negate it if you build around it. Just you can just use these dice random times when you need them.
Mm-hmm. So. I'm glad you brought that up, Matt, because I think that's going to be where a huge amount of like the finesse, like the super crazy skill expression is going to live, which is when and how you mess about with the fight through pain to like completely frustrate something, right? Because you can kind of get to a point, like medium level into the game, turn 3, turn 4, where you might be able to reliably dump 2 or 3, and then you're going to get back to 7, right? Like just automatically, because you're going to just, if you don't roll the 1, you have the place of power capped, you get it. Mm-hmm. So those are like 2 free pocket super wards to make sure that 1 or 2 last piece of damage would have killed your foot hero or done the thing. I mean, just doesn't work. And how often in this game? Yeah, is it by a point or 2? That'll be pretty epic when that does happen. That being said, there's additional cost to that, which is going to make it even crazier for some people because, as you were saying, Matt, some of these new spicy war scrolls have contingencies to their abilities where they are dependent on being raged out, like at rage level 7 or something like that. I'm thinking of this one was like a mark of something or other, like in my beloved Slaves of Darkness, where if you have it on the infantry unit as an enhancement and you rage level 7, they have +1 damage to their weapons. If you don't have rage level 7, it's not active. So what if you want to spend these 2 dice? That is a pretty big cost or potential cost depending on your board state.
Yep, and like New Vangorian Lord has probably one of the coolest jump abilities out there, even though it really does only work on infantry. You know, there's a lot out there that people are probably going to try and play into it. But I don't necessarily know if that's going to end up being like a big change up for the game. I know a lot of people are going to super take it. For me, I think it'll be great to have 2 wards in a phase as a Nurgle player lately, or add wards to my corn list. You know, there's a ton of interesting ways you could play it, and you can really make it your own. So that, yeah, I think it's going to be a lot more flexible than it seems on its face value. It's that easy to learn, hard to master, I think.
That's
for a lot
true.
of people.
The Othello of Age of Sigmar.
Well, that being said, we do have one other rule which I think all players should know, and that's that you can't charge faction terrain anymore. Now, just in case anybody missed that,
very excited about that.
You know, that you just end a move. You have to end a move next to it to be able to fight it. So it's just worth noting you can't get that free movement phase. I miss it too. So sad.
That is actually a massive change because it takes the liability factor that these things had and just really, really minimizes that. So
it drops it down to now you have to make a choice to go after that terrain, as opposed to that was on my way to where I was going to go anyways.
The old hook, the old like hook shot tether, or whatever you would call it. You know, when you do that. Okay. Well,
Sure.
Good to know. Good to know, and honestly, a pretty big highlight. But let's talk about some of these missions. Obviously, we're so used to living these battle plans. I mean, this is all based on what we have to do there, right? And you know, I think the first thing that Matt and Rocco, you guys said earlier that maybe people should know is that just like last time, when you buy the General's Handbook, they give you several high quality mission markers, which, you know, like have a different graphic on them and they call them different things, which are in a very set configuration for every one of the missions. I.e., it's the exact same thing as Scourging Around, but they're different colors and they call them different things. And this time it's Sun Seekers, which is kind of a blobby yellow one, Golden Lions, which is a blobby red one.
And shout out Odessa, the city it's based off of. But go on.
Heldenhain, which is a blobby black one, and Signs of the Comet, which is a blue one with a comet on it. I mean, obviously, in the glowing praise I've given their design features, you can tell that I'm not particularly impressed by them, like visually, but they're fine. Like they're a lot starker than the old ones. They just seem like someone like gave the designers some matte paint and let them go over the town.
If you really think about it, Heldenhain is actually, you know, using part of an Always Strikes Last logo. So just saying.
You're right. Saying. It is the natural winner in our favor as a result, you know. So they have to. But yeah. We're gonna do it. Let's go to the battle plans, guys. Who wants to take Battle Plan 1 and wax poetic on it? Matt, you played a few, so you have to talk about the ones you played. I don't know which ones you played.
I forgot already.
Okay.
So one of the things about this is, you know, we already know I have a hard time reading.
Yep. Do you want me to read?
I'll get into it though. I can start us out with Into the Fire. So
all right, go for it, Rocco.
The frying pan, baby.
Into the Fire. So the twist here is both players' armies have Secure the Gateway ability. While you are underdog, your army has Determined Defender's ability. So I'm going to preface every single mission I've seen and the 2 that I've played so far. are very wacky. This book is wacky in its missions because they are buff or debuff, or every mission has some kind of like "Ooh," that will change things around. Okay, so the passive, which both players have, is secure the gateway. While you control a place of power wholly within friendly territory, friendly units' melee weapons have anti-charge +1 rend while they're charging an objective you control. That is a passive. So if you're on an objective, yeah, and you get charged, you're pretty good. Even just basic Skaven suddenly turn into, oh my goodness, what is going on?
I love this mission, kind of. I mean,
Mhm.
and maybe we can, when you guys are all watching this in the episode, put up the battle plans, the visual in the backdrop, so you can see what we're
Let's just put
talking
it up
about.
now. Let's just put it
Yeah,
up now.
let's
We'll
do
share
that
the
now.
screen. You guys look at our faces way too much, anyways.
I mean, they are
Yeah.
handsome, rugged, potentially, enigmatic, but these battle plans would be more engaging for all of you.
Should we do over the shoulder or background? No, we'll just show the whole thing. We'll
Just
show
see
the
it
whole thing.
Yeah,
right, all right there. All right, there we
Yeah.
go. This is what we need to be
You
looking
guys
at.
and gals and everyone else tunes into us, once a
Yeah.
week. The listeners see what's going on over in the background. Now, actually watch it.
Yeah, as a podcast, you might just have your ears, in which case
Yep.
use the power of your imagination. But if you're watching the YouTube channel variant, then you'll be able to see this. But here we go. I mean,
describe each section of the map, each little quadrant.
exactly. Also, the tone and timbre of the of the various objective markers and the zones. But if you're looking at this, guys, I mean, it's a pretty honest feeling fight, right? You have your two objectives kind of mirroring each other across the center, with two more on the line, little plus
Did
sign.
we do the underdog passive?
I think we didn't, but it's like, I don't know.
Well, the underdog is actually pretty good with adding 3 to control scores of friendly units while they're wholly outside enemy territory.
Great for little
friendly units,
skirmishy things or individual models who want to go fight on something for sure.
Well, and that allows you to really take advantage of those 2 objectives on the outside.
Oh yeah.
On the turn that you need to take it. But considering everybody is passive, your opponent can set up a pretty hard situation for you to grab that. So it's very, like I said, wacky. Wacky is the feeling of these missions, and that they're setting up so many random situations as the game goes that you can kind of, if you want to maneuver your opponent into it, you can set some weird traps.
I do kind of like that. I mean, even just with this one, the idea that you throw like a medium weight infantry onto that, side objective, and you're going to be Ren 2, and it's going to be pretty fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Games Workshop, if you want to send us a GHB next time, we won't go on Wahapedia, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll show the legit pages moment by moment.
Yeah.
We'll read book. Also, this I feel like every GHB we get Battle for the Pass again, and I love it.
Essentially, yep.
It has always been my favorite mission. I don't know why, because I hate playing it in game stores where you can't fully walk around the table, but when you can, it's just my favorite thing to play and do. It's just that iconic hold the line, push it back.
I kind of like it too. There's like an enjoyment to having a deeper deployment zone to do interesting things with that, and it just gives that to you.
It makes alpha striking harder. So if you're an alpha striking army, you could have a bad time, but you don't know. Depends on how your opponent does it.
Exactly.
And it's also interesting with the area terrain placement, or if it's an obstacle that's impassable, and how this is set up. Because you could either, depending if it's area terrain or not, set up in it and get some nice cover to then go off and push to the side, or just have a big blocking piece of terrain that really screws with how you get to that side objective.
Yep.
It's true. It's an
And-
area terrain or obstacle, so it could be very rough.
And we'll go over battle tactics in the next episode, but
Yeah, we'll deep dive.
there's a very good battle tactic for a lot of these maps. I'm sure some of you listening already know, but this one you should have a guaranteed first turn battle tactic. There's no reason you can't, other than you were like me and you forgot and couldn't read well and you thought it was your opponent's territory. No, it's just not yours. So yeah, these missions are fun deployment zones, fun placement of terrain. You're
Easy
gonna
access
have
to a place of power.
You're gonna have that turn one to start getting real hangry. I guess that would be the ogre one, right? Hangry. That would be ogres.
That'd be ogre.
Yeah, hangry indeed. Especially the new book coming out makes me angry.
And so like there's a lot there that you can work with. The victory points are fairly simple. 3 if you control 1, 3 if you control 2 or more, and 4 if you control more than your opponent. Now, because you got that center objective, you can try and go for
certainly try
those outside objectives early. But this mission, it kind of rewards being more aggressive. And that's something that I've seen in a theme in the games that I played. These new missions encourage getting up on the board, not sitting around, not farting around and blowing up stuff from far away. So this one is no different. Even if you just want to have a little wizard in the back, every army has teleport now. So there's a lot of crazy that can happen. So yeah, be aware. This is a fun mission.
It does look fun, and I think that really for either side of it, whether you want to be a little more defensive, more offensive, this is a fun one. Yeah, if you're going to go snag the objectives, come get me. I'm making all the points.
Yeah.
If you're not, if you want to blast away, well, you have a wealth of targets, with no more cover. So this is fun. But let's move on to the next one. I know we got a couple more of these.
Bloodstained Coasts.
This is a fun iteration of that other mission from the last one.
Yeah.
Who wants to take this one?
I can talk to this one, I guess, or at least start it. So let's talk about the twist first. The twist of the Bloodstained Coasts. From the second battle round onwards, both players can use the following abilities, where in any combat phase, they have Emberstone augmented weapons, which means that they pick a friendly unit that charges turn and has any Emberstone slivers to be the target. And that unit gets to, for the rest of the turn, either add 1 to hit rolls, so basically free all-out attack, can never be overstated, or add 1 to wound rolls for the target's combat attacks that want to go all in. So you can do a +1 attack, +1 wound with an Emberstone sliver enabled unit if you want. Then, if you're the underdog, remove all the target's Emberstone slivers, otherwise remove all Emberstone slivers from each friendly unit. So if you're the underdog, you have multiple slivers, such as whatever they might be, floating around. You can kind of just drop them only from the unit you use and bank the others. But if not, you lose them all. And this, of course, is paired with the Emberstone Catch, which is once per turn army, your hero phase ability, where you pick a friendly unit contesting an objective you control, and you give that target an Emberstone sliver. So I guess if we're thinking about this out loud, if you're not the underdog, it's really only going to be like you give these to a unit and then you immediately kind of like dump them all if you ever use them. So it's kind of going to be locked to, can my unit launch off this objective and go do something with their sliver versus being the underdog, you have a bunch of them floating around and sort of use them when it's appropriate, which is nice. So that's the beginning of it. But then let's talk about the battle map and the scoring. First, the scoring. How do you win this game? Points. How to get points in a submission. Score 3 for 1 objective. Score 3 for 2 or more. In the first battle round, score 4 if you control more objectives. And then after that, score 4 if you control objectives controlled by your opponent at the start of the turn. So they give you a freebie if you surge ahead and just get more. So you get your 10. Otherwise, that final four is only for the takers. And this is a pretty weird objective mission because you start off facing each other and you have two sets of parallel objectives, the golds and the reds, each slightly farther back, and then two on the line objectives. The crossed, exceptionally well designed maces in the black, and then that blue one. But this is a crowded map. There's,
It's a comet. It's not that badly designed.
My daughter Eve could make a better comment.
I mean, she probably could, but
I think we know who's in the Sigmar Light King. That's all I have to say.
That's true. Get
me, dude.
Like Sigmar.
So, yeah. So one of the other things to note here is the place of power is next to only that one objective.
Yes.
It's closer to that one objective is what I should actually say.
Yeah.
And it's a small place of power. And then the other one is hanging out in no man's land. So, if you want to hold that objective, you're going to have to waste a big base on a hero to nuke your place of power each turn.
Yep. Just to sit there and do double duty and not go anywhere else, right, Matt? It's a little sketchy.
And it's going to take a turn to get you there. So in the immortal worlds of Admiral Akbar, it's a trap.
Yes, it is.
The other side of this is that small one in both deployment zones means you can have a scrum right there if you really just want to waste all your time pumping into rage dice. That being said, this I think can reward a smart player who wants to do something asymmetrical and sit on that one objective knowing they can hold it for the priority of the turns.
Yeah.
Or not the priority of the turns, for the majority of the turns, and then full send everything else from one red objective to another red objective.
Yeah. They get you 3, get one of the golden ones and be happy. There's also a very nice amount of obscuring terrain in the middle of between the two deployment zones on the line there. That again, it will be very effective. It'll cause some firing lanes and shooting lanes to happen in the big fight for those main 5 objectives. Like you're saying, you could go for the small place of power, but you probably could just ignore the far blue objective and be okay.
Yeah.
I think that's true. Oh, continue, Brad.
You could also be a complete asshole and get your heaviest armored cavalry and sit it in the woods in the center in between the two yellow and the black, and then just go and grab an objective from your opponent from second round onwards until they're forced to deal with you fighting or shooting at you or fighting at you at -1 to hit with 3 and up, 2 and up, whatever you want saves. And
that's some blood crushers, dude.
Yep. I wonder why I'm painting those right now.
It's pretty true. Continue though.
Yeah, there's a lot of mini games that can happen out of this, and this is going to continue a theme, and I'm probably going to say it on each one of these missions. Lately, or the last GHB had probably the best missions that we've had so far, in that a lot of games didn't feel similar. The way a lot of these missions are made now, I'm going to find it very hard to believe that any singular game that you have on most of these will ever be the same, because there's way too many different scenarios that you can put your opponents in as well as yourself. And that's super rewarding. This map, I really hope it sticks on the tournament circuit. Fairly certain when we do, our next Feast of Blades, this will be in it. Just because it's
Jack, write that down. Actually, write that down. I'm with you on that, because this is just so Like, would you put this as a round 1 or a round 3 to separate the
I put this as
soldiers
a
for the generals?
round 2 or round 4.
Oh,
And the only reason is because, your first game, you're still rusty, everybody's getting their coffee on. This is a thinker mission for people who really want to play a thinker mission.
yeah.
I
don't want it round 5. My brain hurts too much at that point.
Round 5, it's going to hurt. Round 4, this will separate the ladies from the women. The boys from the men. The boys to men.
The halflings, even.
The 98 from the degrees.
If you all out there, dear listeners, couldn't tell, in our next tournament, this will be one of the missions because it's too fun. Look forward to it.
Yep, and I'm really looking forward to this one. I haven't gotten to play it yet, but considering all the rules, considering the underdog mechanics, and just the passive Emberstone Cash mechanics, there's like 5 mini games you can pull on it all off at once before War Scrolls are involved in this mission.
Yeah, I agree.
So super cool. This is a lot of fun. I hope it shows up in a lot of tournament lists.
I'm there with you. The only comment I'll add to that before maybe we power through to some more of these is that I think when you look at it, you just have to ask yourself, what can I do here in terms of positional play, like in terms of like how my guys can work better, or have a greater effect in the battlefield because of where they're placed. This is a really good mission for that, which feels like strategy, which feels like tabletop wargaming, which is why it's going to be so fun.
100%.
Yeah, and there's even like, because you are starting 9 inches away from the center of that field, like nobody's going to get that center objective to the far left, right? So like,
see, now hold on, because I'm thinking of like the
you can get pregame moves.
Yeah, the Austriarch Bone Reapers. They're the little ninjas that flip over terrain and shit. I think they might be cheap enough.
Yeah, they might be cheap enough, but they're not going to start on that objective. Nobody's starting on that objective.
No one gets it from turn 1. Yeah.
I mean, so the people who want to do a mad dash, they can try it, but there is
out of position.
Yeah, there's also something to be said for having a couple of faster units in this mission, because you could hold the right 3 in your deployment zone very easily if you get first turn, and then have one unit, like you were saying, Rocco, that goes over and just nabs that.
Yep.
So like, there's so much to this one. It's so good.
It's really fun and really based on what your opponent chooses to do. Like you do have like either better or worse options, like just hypothetically, because it's fun to riff on it. Though I realize it's taking a fair amount of our time to delve into the intricacies of the bloodstained coasts.
Yep.
But like if you're in a mirror match where someone has a big nasty counterpunch, they're just parked in the trees up there, untouchable until they decide to come out and bop you for going to the blue one. Then your choices are limited. But if they have a bit more of a focus on the big scrum in the middle, you might be able to just sit there and like throw a cheap cavalry character behind the place of power, harvest your points forever. Grab your blue with a another light cav unit, like
grab a bag of Funyuns, sit back, make some crunchies.
A little picnic over there. This is going to be a very fun mission.
Brought sandwiches.
Okay. So without further ado.
Onwards.
Number 3.
It's Avalanche of Ash.
Matt, I think it's you, right? Because I did one,
and this is a mission that I have.
Wait,
Rocco, did you do one?
No.
I'll go ahead and do this one. I'll talk about it.
It's your turn.
Yeah.
It's always strikes late, people. We've forgotten what we're doing everywhere all the time.
Sharpest blunt tax here.
That's right. I am the sharpest bulb in the shed.
That was a really good one. That's how late it is. That was really funny.
Yeah, that is how late it is.
Hitting our stride over here. Yeah.
Avalanche of Ash. The underdog here. So I don't remember how we're doing this. It's 6 objectives. 2 are going to be in your deployment. 2 on the borders. 2 far away, over the hills and far away.
Yeah.
The corners are pairs going diagonally. Then you got the singles in the middle here. The twist, if you're the so once per battle round, start of the round, collapsing pass, pick each objective to be the target, then pick one of the targets to be the focus. Roll a dice for each target. Add 1 to the roll for each unit, friendly and enemy, that is contesting it. If the target is the focus, you can add 3 or subtract 3 from the roll. On an 8+, remove the target from the battlefield. This is if you're the underdog.
Mm-hmm.
As under the avalanche of ash from all the volcanoes and shit going on, the objectives go away. And again, can't be an underdog in the first battle round. Don't think about it. Scoring. Score 3 victory points if you control at least 1 objective. Score 3 victory points if you control 2 or more objectives. Score 4 if you control more objectives than your opponent. Score 3 victory points if there is no more than 1 objective on the battlefield and you control a non-faction terrain feature within enemy territory. Score 7 points if there are no objectives on the battlefield and you control more non-faction terrain features than your opponent. So this is there was back in the day one with disappearing objectives, but they've never made one before, to my understanding, where they all could go away.
Yep. And this was the first mission that I played. We rolled it. We had no idea what we were getting into. Oh no, not at all. It's kind of nice hearing somebody else speak the insanity that I sat through.
Yeah.
So this one, I'm gonna say I don't think is gonna make it into many tournaments, and that's very sad.
No, this narrative is hell, and I fucking love it.
Yeah, because it's actually very, very competitive.
And the deployments are also technically lengthwise, corner to corner here.
This is kind of a hammer and anvil situation, isn't it? Though.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it is. So
I love it.
So a lot's going on in this mission, as you can see by all of our ways of getting victory points. And if you are scrumming over objectives, it's really easy to blow these up. We got down to 2 objectives, and I was not camping because I was playing a very fast cavalry list. And he was running away as I was beating him up.
That was just from the table. That wasn't even his units doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Matt got violent.
I got super violent. I flipped the table at the end. No, I did not. That's only on TTS. So the thing that is really interesting is the micro game that you're going to be playing here. Because it is a micro game, but it will cause an avalanche. In that once per battle round, start a battle round, collapsing pass. So if you're
my eyes so hard when you said it causes an avalanche, and I did it to the camera, and I'm like, fuck, wait, they can't see us.
I forgot that was the name of the battle plan, and I was not thinking. I just watched a whole video on avalanches. So,
there you go.
I thought you were going to say on puns, but
nope, just on lahars. So the thing here is you have a very good chance if you're if you are underdog, to be able to dictate the way that the mission is going to flow. But you need to be 100% cognizant of where your models are when you're on the objective. The places of power are right on the outside, so they're actually really easy to get to, even though they're small. And these 6 objectives will go down real quick if you're not thinking about it. So if you are thinking about it, then you can really, really like mess with somebody. It's very fun. And again, very wacky, super wacky mission.
It feels like it's a weird combo between like owning the objectives and trying not to have more than one unit contesting them, because otherwise you're in the danger zone for having to accidentally blow up on you.
Yeah.
And, fighting for the underdog spot for maybe give them an early lead to start taking away all their objectives with like the focus where you just like add 3. I mean, because if you add 3, it's like, it's like give me the 5. if there's
Yeah.
no one on it, but you can do
Yeah.
4 if there's even one on it. And it's like pretty easy to like snipe them.
Yeah. So it's worth noting that essentially, if you're, you know, if you're playing into an army that wants to play in combat, those 2 center objectives are most likely going to be gone by turn 3.
Oh, yeah.
So
Definitely.
just remember that as you're playing. Maybe you want to tap it. Maybe you just want to reach out and go for the backfield, right? And on your way, you can destroy your opponent's little wizard that was hanging out by places of power, and deny them their rage. So there are ways around it. There's good ways to play it, I think. And then, you know, once you've gotten an objective on the side, then you can, you know, figure out what you want to do.
This definitely feels like you need to be mobile enough to go out and like this isn't like you could win by round. Like if you're build your army to be like I'm gonna play all 5 rounds, we're gonna fucking get them. Just from the fact that if there are no objectives on the board, the most you can score is 7.
Mm-hmm.
That is really interesting, man.
Yep. This can turn into an asymmetric mission very quickly. And this is one I would love to have show up in a tournament as the last round, because it would be the perfect one to make top tables go, what the shit? And the people that didn't make it to, you know, above mid to just go, all right, this is going to be a fun one. Let's see what fuckery I can get into. Now nobody will probably want to pick this one, because of the dice rolls. But you know, it's another one of those where it's like, you know, you're missing out on actually playing competitively when you cut things like this out, because there are real tactics that you can use in this in addition to those dice rolls. So that's my challenge to competitive players.
It has great anti-shooting with that long line of obscuring terrain.
Yeah, it's an interesting one for sure. I think I agree with that assessment. You know, Matt, you know, this is not one where it's going to be popular for the packs, but it's one where you can get some wild games out of someone who thinks through the implications of what they're doing.
Yep, very lopsided.
I mean, you can't plan for some of it anyway, just because you might accidentally roll hot on a dice when you only have 1 unit on there.
Well, so
someone put the 3 and you do the thing, and
that's a knuckle problem.
You have to have an 8+ to roll it, right? So you have to have 2 units on there, right? In order for it to go off base, and you have to roll a 6. So if you're getting people in a scrum on it, it's very easy to do that. But if you want to make sure that you are dictating the battlefield, maybe there's a point where you actually say, hey, I'm going to be underdog and then score all my battle tactics for the next 3 turns.
Yep.
You know, there is a lot to work with here. And I really hope TOs take advantage of that, and that competitive players see the worth in this mission. It's a very good mission.
It is. It is.
So let's go into Caverns of Slaughter.
All right.
Is that me?
It's you, I think, sir.
Matt.
Cool.
Back to tunnels. Ugh.
I love it. Look at this horrible deployment zone.
Hammer and anvil again.
Horde armies hate to see this thing coming.
Yeah, I was marveling at the. I had to bring Kimmy in the other day to just be like, look at the footprint of my all flies army. They're so big. They will hate this deployment zone. And of course she was like, I don't. Why? It's cool. They're all gross. Why did you bring me in here to look at gross models?
Yeah, why do those other ones have teeth?
She just doesn't want to look at those ones anymore.
That's fair. That's fair. You did a good job of making them gross.
They are gross.
That's how you know you've succeeded. Yeah,
it's cool, and I don't want to touch it. That's what I'm always going for. So with this one, the twist is if you're the underdog, you can use shifting passages. So this is literally shifting. What was that older mission?
I think it was wasn't it shifting passages?
Something like that, yeah.
I don't remember. Maybe it was called that.
So once per battle round at the start of the battle round, Again, if you are the underdog, you can go ahead and pick 2 non-faction terrain features to be the targets. You can remove all hidden passage tokens from the battlefield, if any, and then give a hidden passage token. Now, both players in this army can use, or both players in this mission can use the navigate tunnels ability, but you need the tokens. So, navigating the tunnels. Once per turn, army, so only 1 unit. Your movement phase, which is interesting because it's not hero phase, meaning you're losing a movement phase to do this, which I find is much more balanced than doing this in the hero phase. You can navigate the tunnels, pick a friendly unit wholly within 6 inches of a terrain feature that has a hidden passage token to be the target. Remove the target from the battlefield and set it up again wholly within 6 inches of a different terrain feature that has a hidden passage token and more than 9 inches from all enemy units. So,
I love bookkeeping.
Yeah. Thing to note, big bases, like, Alariel, my poor Spoods, vampire lords on zombie dragons are not going to be able to do this because their bases are actually just a little bit larger than 6 inches. So, like, if you are trying to get your orc death cabbage across the board, you're not going to be able to do it using this. You got to do it the old-fashioned stompy flat way.
Oh, wait a second there, Matt. You correct me if I'm wrong about this, but if you just pick an area terrain feature they could be sitting in, like one of those little forests, it's
Possibly.
6 inches from the edge of it. So you can definitely get a big fatty through there, as long as it's not like a point.
Possibly. It depends on the terrain. But if you're measuring from the outside of the piece of terrain, you're not going to be able to fit the big boys in it. So just note that.
So you're saying if you're in the terrain, it wouldn't count?
No, if you're in the terrain, you're fine. Wholly within 6 inches of a terrain feature. But generally, when we see woods, they have trees. You can't set your bases on the trees. And, you can't move over something that is more than an inch high, right? So it's just worth noting, big bases going to have a harder time doing this. Small bases, good to go. Easy peasy, don't need to think about it, lemon squeezy.
That's a fair point. Like maybe with the right terrain piece, you could do it with a bigger guy, but it's situational. Okay, and I think that this one, rewards that tunneling, and this what's the final point bonus? 4 for pairs objectives.
Oh yeah, I didn't even go through those, did I?
Nope.
Score 3 victory points if you control 1. Score 3 if you hold 2 or more. And then this is another one. There are actually a couple of these where it's control pairs. And controlling pairs would be the 2 red or the 2 yellow. Notice they're on opposite sides, so you can jump around, get up, and get down. Or I guess just crawl through tunnels. But this one is interesting because I look at this map, and because of the small deployment zone and my severe lack of giving a hoot about the rage dice, I just want to steamroll all the way to the other opponent's red objective as I'm holding all the other objectives. Now, that may not work depending on who I'm fighting, but
you got 4 objectives in play, man. You should be able to control 3 of them and be happy.
But it is worth noting that a place of power can also be one of these hidden passages where you pop out.
That is true.
So you could see your opponents getting a sneaky move over to get some rage dice to then have a heroic last stand or something, or empower a war scroll on these missions purely by that mechanic alone, especially if they're down. Or if they're right on the cusp and they know they're going to double. One of the other things that I think is really kind of hard about this is, since it's happening in the movement phase, you're not going to be able to set it up. in the, I don't know, the most crisp way. Now it doesn't say this removes your move ability here. I'm gonna wait for an errata, to be honest, on this before I 100% say.
It's a setup, man. There shouldn't.
Well, the real question is like, this is in your movement phase. Does this happen at the beginning? Most likely it does. Of your movement phase, meaning you're setting this up a turn ahead of time from somebody not really being near any of the objectives, except for maybe the center ones in the woods, right? Yeah. So, this can get a little weird.
I mean, again, the nice thing is it's really from Battle Round 2 onward. Again, you need an underdog to do the thing, to set up the targets. If there's no underdog, because you guys are going point for point, blow for blow for the first couple rounds, I think it'll be interesting when an underdog finally would show up in like around 3 or 4 to be like, oh, hey, I can steal your home objective off of this. I can do this. I can do that,
I mean, any objective ends up being a portal, so you could leave like some 80-point nonsense unit sitting on that back woods or back area objective and just be ready to hop on whatever is convenient and also deny it to your opponent for a while. So there's fun play in this. I like the look of it. I do think that it's fun too, in the sense that it's one of those missions where you don't just start with a pocket place of power deep in your deployment zone to sit around and camp on. You have to go find it if you want to do that.
Isn't that interesting? Though, like, from what we've seen here, like the last two, really, the last 3 of them. So Battleplans 2, 3, and 4 here have not had pocket when everyone's like the rage dice.
You really you got to work for it. You got to work for it here. They're not going to give it to you. You can't just have it. You can't just have it.
It's true. All right. So that was Battle Plan 4, powering on to 5.
Yep.
I suppose this one is me, and it is what's yours is ours. Well, this is wild.
Fun. Did I not say they were wacky? Every single one is wacky.
I just thought of All Dogs Go to Heaven, where they're singing like the song, what's yours is mine.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Hey, fun story. Never watch that movie while you're on an acid trip.
Oh God, no.
That sounds like a good idea for
it's
a bad
lot
time
of
or
fun.
a bad idea for a good time.
It's a lot of fun.
I bet.
It's got the right color palette for all that too to really fucking be anyway.
Okay. So
like what? Huh?
Yeah.
Charlie.
So what is the what's yours as Charlie? Oh my God. All Dogs Go to Heaven style.
It's so good.
It is a good movie.
It is.
For all of those things and more, I'm sure. Let's talk about this mission. The twist for what's yours is ours is that while the battle round number is odd, the pair of Golden Lions objectives is the coveted pair of objectives, and the battle round is even the pair of Sunseekers objectives is the coveted pair of objectives. As a reminder for those who may be looking at this or people using their ear holes to envision it, the Golden Lions are the pair of red blobby, could be a Medusa mask, would cross swords things.
It's a lion. It's a They had a whole thing of lore on it back in the 2 books ago for cities.
Is that really Odessa's lion? Because
it was supposed to be.
It was a city bereft of artists. And then you have I'm just gonna be
killing them all and bringing them to Slanesh.
Seriously. Anyone with talent is already in the host.
Please, graphic designer who did this, don't listen to this episode. Please.
We're just joking. They do look like
I could not do a better job.
I also could not. Matt could.
Maybe.
Okay, just we're being too mean. They are fine. They are fine. I know they're meant to be like heraldic, kind of Sigmar's Legion icons, stylized. So they do fit a theme. The Suns, which are a stylized.
Shame, Jack, shame.
I know. I realize I went too deep in the meanness, but it's second nature from my Ziggurat of Ashmar over here.
Oh, there you go. Yep. Okay.
But we digress.
Yeah.
The yellow ones are the sunburst ones, which are the Sunseekers. You will all be able to figure this out when you see them. But if you're the underdog, you can do this thing based around which one's coveted called All the Rage, where you pick a pair of objectives to be the target, and for the rest of the battle round, the target is a coveted pair of objectives to the other pair of objectives. So it normally flippy flops, but you can force it to be the other one if you happen to be an underdog. Why does this matter? Well, let me tell you. Because if you are trying to win the game, you need points. To get points, you get 3 for one objective. You get 3 more if you control the coveted pair of objectives, and then you get 4 if you control more objectives than your opponent. So 3 of those 10 points are always based upon the coveted pairs of objectives. And the Sunseeker ones are stuck in the corners of these weird little extra deployment zones you get. And the Golden Lions ones are either right on the scrum line amidst a place of power or a lot of forests in the main battle area, or right in the middle of no man's land in the midst of everything. So this is a positionally very interesting map.
It is.
Wacky indeed.
Yeah. I mean, the mechanic of
obscuring left, guys. This is really this is feeling like a cavalry army's GHB. I'm going to tell you.
I know. Yeah. I am loving it. It is.
Why did I say I was going to stop playing my Deepkin for a bit? Why do I like cities again?
I don't know, man. But they do have some decent cavalry, so you might as well.
Yeah.
The one thing this mission sets up is I know each time that I play this mission, I'm just going to be singing promise rings like happiness is all the rage once per battle round at the start of battle round. Each time I'm an underdog, and it's going to be a thing. So be prepared, my opponents.
Let's go. Despite all the rage, I'm still just that's where I went. But
yeah.
There's also I misremembered. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. But I don't play Skaven, so what do I care?
Oh, there you go. Yeah. This mission is interesting.
Couldn't remember the hair bands like Kiss that I enjoy. That other episode, but all of a sudden I'm fucking pulling up lyrics. It's great.
Hey, might as well. Might as well keep it rolling, even if it veers left or right. You know, eventually you get a strike. So it's so interesting.
Back to it really is, and it's. So do you just sack that far objective with like a battle line 90-point unit of dudes and say, all right, good luck? Or do you like go out there and force because you've got so much less obscuring shit to block you and then like go out from there? Like,
well, like the movement is in order to win the game, the movement has to be going to, you know, the right side if you're the defender, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, man. Why not just put your 40-man blob of blood warriors on that red objective where everybody's going to be like, I'll take that later.
Yeah.
I don't know. This has a multitude of ways to attack it. It would be really funny to see like what you could do, you know, since you mentioned Scavin, like putting a gnaw hole around in some certain places, and all of a sudden you've got an easy time moving everything from your defender's territory all the way over into that little corner on the right if you're the defender, right? And starting with nothing there to give somebody false hope and maybe they overload on one side.
Yep, that seems accurate.
Setting up Sylvaneth trees to go and get the big place of power early on. And then using that to bamf over. Ooh, so many good ways to go about this.
Yeah, maybe just stick a cog fort right in the freaking center of the one in the red, or the red one on the left, you know? Yeah. And just surround it with some steel helms and then send all your cavalry off into the great beyond to hopefully survive.
I've got a question with all the things we've seen so far. How are we feeling about Gargants in this GHB, man?
Gargants are looking good. You know why? Because their base is under 6 inches wide.
Yeah. And the objectives seem really central, or there's always a big cluster
Mm-hmm.
Like either they're all in the middle or they're all off to one side, so you don't need to spread out as much unless you're worried about battle tactics.
You
Yeah.
know, a couple thoughts on Gargants. One, yeah, positionally, I think they got it. They're a reasonable spot with all that. But just by nature of the army, I mean, they can hit harder, which is good, right? Because they have like the some decent damage weapons amongst them, like Bronze Club or whatever.
Oh, but for the rage,
Yeah,
oh,
but
Jack.
they're also more vulnerable to rage dice because like someone can unload with like a super high weapon and wound density is their greatest defense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a
And
thought for me.
in this mission, I feel like they could struggle if they are winning. Because, while they do win a blob, like one of their main strengths is if you get two Gargants together hanging out, which you would see on the right side of this board if you're a defender.
Yep.
Because they'll easily fit into that bottom corner. Your underdog could just flip it, flip your coveted objectives into the red, and then you're stuck kind of figuring out, do I send one out there to get mauled? Or do I try and hold on to the middle objective and the two Sunseeker objectives?
Yeah, just say you're scoring 7 and be happy with your life.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
I don't think any of these are particularly easier for some armies. I think this battle tactic or this GHB so far to me, I think rewards a lot of faster armies. And set them up, put them down armies. So if you have any teleports or now holes or anything like that, this is really good.
Potty.
Yeah, it's a neat one for sure with that. Well, where does it go from here, guys? Next is Hidden Under Ash Clouds. And this is you, Rocco? Or is it you, Ryan? Okay, wow.
And this map is wacky.
Aren't they? This was a setup before, too, wasn't it?
Kinda, yeah. Kinda.
Like we've played too many years with GHBs. I mean, obviously they can't keep not recycling because there's only so many ideas you can use in combinations. But
I mean,
I like it.
This is like the orb mission. Remember where it used to move from one objective to another?
Orb. I love that. Is my favorite.
No.
Map.
The placement reminds me of relocation orb.
Yes.
It does the figure eight.
Yep.
Does the figure eight.
Do the figure eight. Yep. Okay. Anyway, hidden under ash clouds because we just gave people PTSD about relocation orb.
I loved it.
The twist at the start of each battle round, the underdog must pick whether or not the ash clouds are low lying.
Dun, dun, dun.
If there is no underdog, the ash clouds are low lying. The following passive abilities apply to the battle. Rolling ash clouds, while they are low lying, units and manifestations cannot be set up in neutral territory. That's the middle of the board.
Mm-hmm.
Units and manifestations cannot end a move within neutral territory unless they started that move wholly within neutral territory, under the guise of they were in there before it was low lying. But once it fades to black, you ain't getting in there. And models and manifestations are not visible to other models more than 3 inches away unless a straight line can be drawn between any points of their bases that does not cross neutral territory.
This is such an anti-shooting thing.
Love it.
With that.
What happened to no more obscuring?
The whole center of the board is now obscuring. That's amazing.
This is day 3 mission on a GT. Just to mess with everyone.
Oh, yeah.
I dare to say that if your friend is setting up like their double cogfort army and looking across your guys and you pulled in, they might call you an ash hole.
Yeah, it is.
Most likely.
Don't go into the ash hole. Scoring here is score 3 if you control at least one objective. Score 3 if you control 2 or more. Score 4 if you score, more than your opponent. There are 2 pairs of objectives. 2 golds on the borders of the ash hole. You've got 2, one in your home objective and one in the enemy's home objective. There, the golden lions on red, and you've got a comet of Sigmar in the middle there. But golly gee willikers, Batman, what the? And you got good access to places of power,
Mm-hmm.
and they're the big places of power, so you could have a hero on there and affect, as long as you could see, affect everything. But this is very much trying to get you corralled into the middle with the game design here, or else
Yeah.
you're going the long way around obstacles that will be blocking a lot of space
If you're a
unless you
teleport,
fly.
if you're a teleport army, you love this.
Oh my god, yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
it's magical. This mission. I mean, because I don't know if you guys called out Rocco, the very most important wording at the beginning of it, that at the start of each battle round, the underdog picks whether ash clouds or low line, but there is no underdog to ash clouds or low line, and it doesn't say
yeah,
from turn 2 onward. So the game starts with low line ash clouds.
Yep.
No one shoots anything turn 1.
no.
It's
And
wonderful.
you can't put anybody into the middle in that first battle round either. You're all going the long way the fuck around.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I want
So,
this one to be a top table mission. I want it to be a top table mission.
The threat of this mission, if missions are not published ahead of time, will single-handedly curtail shooting army effectiveness. This is the
oh yeah.
craziest mission. This is.
Well, I mean,
Oh,
if
yeah.
you're only going to play shooting, I mean, take all comers list argument.
Yay.
Let me present to you the
Listen.
evidence of Games Workshop releasing a giant walking tank castle recently.
Hey,
Yeah,
it
that's
walks, it
crazy.
can move.
I
Yeah,
guess it
walking
can
that
move
fog.
10.
No.
Sure, all right. But it's also, again, like I'm gonna harp on Deepkin because again that's what I know. But if I'm moving 14 around, I can set up my own shooting angles and alleys around here. But a lot of
Mhm.
armies won't have access to that, and you've got fire slayers taking the slow way around to get to one of these golden objectives, and that cloud goes down, and it's just a mad fucking dash to get into to try to break the deadlock and get the blue objective.
Yeah.
Or just like snipe one of the reds if you're amassed around one of the two golden objectives on the flanks.
Well, I mean, so each army, like each player has the ability to control 3 objectives on their first turn if they position right and they run.
Yeah.
If you force a 6 on your run roll, even on lowly dwarfs, you will get the 10 inches across the 9-inch back deployment line to get to that objective. Now, your opponent's probably going to try and do the same thing. So almost every army has run and charge somewhere.
Yeah.
There's a way. There's a lot that you can do because again, we're not talking about any of the paired objective nonsense or anything like that. This is straightforward. Hold 2 or hold more. That's how you get the objectives, right? So
That's it.
You're
totally on point and
you're
not digression at all.
Yeah, you're not more than 1 turn away from holding more. Anytime in this in this battle plan.
Yeah.
The main thing is when the underdog decides to turn this off, then there can be that mad dash, right? So it's just who's going to be the underdog,
turn,
right? Yeah. So like this has so much capacity to just go insane. And if you are a super fast unit, or you have knot holes, or you're using a bunch of teleport, maybe you want to bait somebody into doing that so you can just get on that red objective in the back and seize more while they are making it to the center. There's a lot.
Not to mention if again everyone's thinking it, but that the implication of when the clouds come back. And whatever you got that's in there, they're cut off. That it's a lack of buffs because they can only see 3 inches in front of them. It's that if you are a shooting arm and you tried to set something up, that shooting's all gone. The buffs are all gone. From a lot of wizards and thankfully a lot of stuff off of like more like melee characters is like if you're within combat range of me, cool, neat, but if you had a wizard at a place of power that was trying to affect the battlefield, or even debuff your opponent, then all of a sudden the lights went out.
Need a torpedo.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
really
all
cool.
very accurate, and I agree with all of it. But I am still super hung up on the fact that Matt said even lowly dwarves can run that 6 inches, where he
I am
actually
a
got a height joke in against my adopted people.
I
Wow.
am a
I
tall
can't believe you
person.
belittled him like that.
It's far too easy to look down on dwarfs. In fact, it's natural.
I'd say it was a low blow, but then you would say that's the only kind you get.
That's the
Yep.
only one available to me when dealing with dwarf.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, either that or a punt and a whee.
Oh man.
So good
Well,
mission.
we
Wacky.
should move on to
Great
other
mission.
missions before our listeners get short on patience.
I know
Mhm.
our dwarf pun cup runneth over on this episode.
Indeed, come back all week long. Try the feel.
So who's got this one? Is that you, Rocco?
I think
Or is that me?
It's
It's
Matt.
me.
wait, it's you,
Yeah.
Matt. It's you. Okay.
Yeah,
me.
because I just went.
Yeah. Oof. Hey, it's always strikes late. Welcome to Always Strikes Late.
Yeah,
We'll be here until we're not.
Yeah.
Uh, so
Try the spiel.
this one is Warped Ruins.
Mhm.
What is Warped Ruins? I hear you say. No, I don't. You don't have a microphone. You strange people who listen to us for fun. We listen to us for seriousness. Each non-faction.
No, we do not.
Each
Never on the
non-faction
docket.
terrain feature must be set up within 12 inches of at least one other non-faction terrain feature. I'm just going to walk around saying terrain.
Why would that matter?
Because a lot of fun stuff happens. The twist, if you're the underdog, you must use the following ability. Once per battle round, start of battle round, just some spreading warp fire, a little global warming,
Zinch.
Declare if there are no flaming terrain features on the battlefield, you pick a non-faction terrain feature to be the target. Otherwise, pick a non-faction terrain feature that is not flaming, and that is within 12 inches of a flaming terrain feature to be the target. The target is flaming for the rest of the battle, so you're literally setting everything on fire and fighting in a forest fire. Thanks for mirroring real life Games Workshop.
Yeah.
You people in the wet northern England with no giant forest fires.
Oh, they'll get him in a few years. Don't worry.
Give it time.
Robin Hood's tree just died.
That's
Oh,
true.
It's
That's
actually
true.
really
Would be a
sad.
downer.
Yeah.
Sad. The target is flaming for the rest of the battle. Then inflict D3 mortal damage on each unit, friendly and enemy, within 6 inches of any flaming terrain features. So now you see why they all have to be within 12 of each other. So you're literally
Farmer's like, oh, the map's there. Why would that? It's already, you got to measure out the, okay.
You're setting forest fires and you're burning people down. Sylvanus should be ultra pissed about this. Objective control, score 3 for one. Score 3 for any pairs of objectives.
There's 6 objectives on this motherfucker.
And the two pairs are on opposite sides. Well, each piece of the pair are on opposite sides diagonally.
Yeah.
In the center of the battlefield, on the 11-inch in line.
Yeah, we got the flail, probably a mace to the face on the left and the comet to the right.
Yep. So you're only going to get those pairs by going over and starting a forest fire in your defender's territory. And then score 4 if you control more objectives than your opponent. So this is a wacky. Wacky is the word. Wacky is the key word of the night.
Playable 2-man action here.
And I'm here for it. Let's burn down everything. This mission could just go insane.
It's sort of funny though, right? Because like it is so visually thematic in your mind, but oh my god, all the trees are on fire, I have to avoid it. And if you really are retreating at all, like I don't want to go into that forest fire.
Mhm.
then there's kind of like these safe corridors. We kind of in the back sides of the paired objectives, where like the sketchy ones are like the blue comet and the crossed maces, where then there are all these pieces. You're always going to get burned if you're on them or whatever. But some things you're just not going to care about the burning, really, because it's once per battle round, start of the battle round. And at first I thought it might be per terrain feature. So maybe if you're sitting there like in the burning thicket and you're around four things, you're getting 4d3, but it's just 1d3. So if you have enough wound totals or a way to heal, you can just tank that and sit on something.
Well, I would say yes, but you're also fighting through to get pairs. So, like, for me, I feel like this is going to be one of those missions where there's a lot more movement than you really walk in thinking there's going to be.
Uh-huh.
And you're going to be spread thin a lot more than initially thought.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at that comment. Like, all right, so I've got probably maybe one of my units is kind of trailing off. I'm between two, if not three, warp fires.
And you can nuke somebody's place of power too, by the way.
Oh yeah, places of power all bunched off to one side again. This whole anti-rage. What are we scared about here?
I
This
bet
shit's
that's going
hard
to be
to get.
the first move for a lot of people. Or place of power 1 burning, place of power 2 burning, and then it's like if you're going to be on the place of power, you're going to take some damage, which maybe some heroes could tank, but like your little wizards or your little foot heroes aren't going to like that. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to change up your strategy if that is your main goal for your little take all comers list, guys. The other thing too is like, what are your guaranteed control more? It's gonna be the ones that are in between or wholly within 6 inches of at least 4 different pieces of terrain, right?
Yeah.
The non-paired objectives are just going to be that thing that keeps you controlling more, because you'll need to get the pairs at some point. So you're gonna have to make a move diagonally. But if you're holding one or two of the others, that most likely means that your opponent's the underdog and he's just going to start boom, 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 boom. So there can be some really strange ways to play this, I think. But then again, once you've started the fires, they're on for the rest of the battle, right?
Yeah, they're just raging.
Start the fire.
So
it'll be really fun to play this mission, but I still come back to like I think it's a bit of a miss. I mean, I wish it was per piece of terrain that you were close to, because like you could get so thematically punished for sitting on the blue or the black objective. Then you're getting like 2d3 or 3d3 in some cases.
Yeah,
a big
I think
base.
yeah. Right? Isn't it
Yeah.
per terrain feature?
No, it's once per battle round, start a battle round. We can rate it again. And this is probably also going to get an errata, just so people can understand as well. There are no flaming terrain features.
It's 2 in.the morning.
Pick one.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And otherwise pick a non-faction terrain feature that is not flaming. And it's wholly within 12 of a flaming terrain feature. So you start it and then it grows. The target is flaming for the rest of the battle. Then inflict D3 mortal damage on each unit, friendly and enemy, within 6 inches of any flaming terrain feature. So what you can't do is like double it up on somebody, but what you can do is, let's say, you know what, I'm on the yellow. I am just going to hang out on those two. I'm going to start all of the places of power on fire. I'm going to hang out on the opposite side on my little yellow objective. And, that just so happens to be where your opponent is getting ahead in points because that's where they're having the control more. Cool. Awesome. And they've got a wizard next to those places of power. Cool. Burn. Right? Yeah. So like over time, it will kill people. So yeah. Plus, it'll soften it up for the charge.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, it's a fun one. I'm there
And
for
it's
it.
only if there's an underdog. So again, not battle round 1, and there's a chance you guys are matching up points.
And it
All
started
right.
battle round, so you can't really set anything up ahead of it.
Yeah.
So you can't do like, oh, I've got a fancy ward right now because I made a wizardry, you know?
No.
So
That's
it
fair.
happens in between everything you're doing. I feel like it's going to be an interesting one. You know, there's also, you know, you can do, I can imagine some people just set something on fire
Mm-hmm.
and then try not to be the underdog. And then one thing's
Fair.
on fire for the rest of the game. So
That's
this
fair.
one could be fun, but I can imagine a lot of players just like either forgetting about it first.
Yeah. That's to be
or-
honest. Yeah.
Or they're going to just be like, okay, how do I turn this off? This sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
that'll
think I
be it.
agree with that.
That being said, I really do like the objective placement. So
Oh yes. No, that's great.
Mhm.
I like that in the middle, like it's one large and then one small, so it feels not. You know how competitive battle plans can sound out to be because it's the perfect mirror
mhm.
of the thing, and it feels like it loses some of the dynamic gameplay you can get with having to, with them being different sizes in the middle. I feel like that's a really good thing.
Yeah, for
Uh,
sure.
It makes for a more dynamic game setup, but also still being balanced.
Yeah,
I guess that brings the next one, the Curse of the Nah, and I think this is me, isn't it, guys?
it is.
Mhm.
All right, well, let's talk about the Nah. Let's just chew on this one for a bit. Um, so this is fun. Also wacky deployment, with this little like
Mhm.
checkered, staggered, no man's lands. So you're gonna have like that awkward dice curve,
Mhm.
going
I feel
down
like
to show
only
where
the
you can be.
last battle plan was a regular freaking deployment. I love this shit.
Not gonna be easy on
Mhm.
anybody, no. But this
Okay.
one's fun because it has a reasonably powerful and interesting, I think, underdog mechanic. There's an instability thing going on here where you start off at instability level 1, and then each time either player uses the activate place of power ability, greedily getting their rage dice jacked up or doing something else, add 1 to that level to maximum of 6. And then the underdog, after a sudden takes first turn in the battle round, can do a cool thing, which is at the start of the battle round, do the Echoes of Blight City, where they pick an objective and they inflict an amount of mortal damage on each unit, friendly and enemy, contesting the target equal to the instability level, and reset it to 1. So, right there, before we get into the objective placements, there are 2 easy places of power right there in the pockets of each deployment zone. So, you can set up and start harvesting your power from time 1, but
Mhm.
you are going to be setting up the eventual underdog for a whoppingly effective detonation if you happen to have clustered units on any objective, because
As
they
a
can detonate.
as a Nurgle player, I love this.
It's pretty good, right? I mean,
Yeah, it's one of those like, oh, I'm sorry you didn't have any ward saves on that blob.
I
It's a
think it's
good thing I'm
fun.
still holding this objective with my 8 wounds per model. Like
It's
that. Like that.
it's quite
I
good. I
love it.
imagine you twirling your mustache. It's
Yeah.
I'll need a
as your Nurgle
monocle,
goodness.
monocle and a
He's
top
gonna go
hat.
tie a damsel to a train,
And the mustache is like a slug.
Mhm.
to some railroad tracks to get run over by a train. Excuse me.
So this one's fun though with the objectives themselves because
Yeah.
you get 3 points for a golden lion,
Uh-huh.
which is 1 up in the corner. You get 3 points if it's a Sunseeker objective, which is the one in the other corner, and then there's kind of the 2 objectives in the middle, which aren't special but help you get more than your opponent. You get 4 for more. So there's going to be some critical fights. There's going to be a lot of things on an objective, and you're going to get to detonate, or your opponent's going to get to detonate something that the other person doesn't want to get detonated if they're trying to power up.
Talk about Gargant's seemingly not minding, but also hating this. Because
Yeah.
like
They'll
you've got the
definitely.
wound density, but you have to split up.
Yep. Yeah.
This
And
is
it could also be something where you're just sitting there letting them get the first 2 turns so you can make sure that you're underdog, and then boom, right? So
Yeah. Pick an objective you're not actually on
mhm.
and hit them for 6 and be happy.
It's a good mission. 4 objectives feels anemic compared to the rest of these, but that's why it's so wacky, because this shows up and all of a sudden you're condensed down into, oh man, all this army that I made to spread out now
Yeah.
has to like squish into this kind of little line.
I mean, listen, in older GHBs, there would have been home objectives where the ruins are, right? In each territory, the 2 middle ones wouldn't be
Yep.
there. So I do like this design. It does force you to spread out in a different way because it's the diagonal split there, because of how the objectives are not all straight in a line going down the board.
Mm-hmm.
The having the 2 important objectives beyond the flank, so you have to at least divide your army in half.
Yep.
That stops castle armies from being too oppressive. God, this is a cavalry GHB.
Mm-hmm. And the large terrain is also very good at splitting up as well. So like if you're playing a horde army, there's going to be some avenues where smart players can trap you in between those ruins, trying to get to one of those extra objectives.
Yeah, that's true.
Very fun mission. Another wacky one.
Yeah.
Just a 9. Seizing the embers.
This is me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are some embers.
Wait.
I think so. Did you just do this one, Rocco? It's always strikes late. Oh, it's you, Rocco.
All right. It's okay. We've only done that. I'm 3 for 3 with us forgetting. Seize the embers, because I just talk too much normally, anyway. Don't mind me.
We always mind you, Rocco.
Oh, thank you, buddy. Both players can use the following abilities. Search the ruin at the end of your turn. Pick a friendly unit that does not have an Emberstone Nugget and is contesting a Sunseekers, that's the all gold, objective to be the target. Effect. Give the target an Emberstone Nugget. If you are the underdog, the target can immediately move 6 inches but cannot end that move in combat. The target cannot use the back to base camp or power through ability for the rest of the turn. Interesting. What's back to base camp, you ask? Once per turn, army, end of your turn, pick a friendly unit that has an Emberstone Nugget, was not set up this turn, and is contesting a Golden Lions objective. That is the lion head with the swords on the blaringly bright red. Remove the target's Emberstone Nugget. Why are these nuggets important, you may ask? Well, for scoring, score 3 points if you control at least one objective. In the first battle round, score 3 points if you control 2 or more objectives. From the second battle round onward, score 3 points if you used your back to base camp ability this turn. Score 4 points if you control more objectives than your opponent.
Very wacky.
Yeah, and if you're the underdog, you get a free 6-inch move, which is nice.
Someone was just talking about this being a cavalry GHP. What's more cavalry than shuttling Emberstone Nuggets back and forth to?
Well, it's cavalry tactics throughout history have been send it in the small raiding parties to grab all the shit and bounce.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are.
So this one, I don't even know how it's going to go half the time, it feels like. Because essentially, the end of your turn, if you're picking up a nugget, you getting one of them nuggies? Getting your nuggies? You move 6 inches away from the objective to go faster to the next objective. It's so weird. It's so weird. But it's end of your turn. End of your turn. So like you can't really leave, right? I guess you can get out of combat, right? And that's your best best bet of using that is to just say, yoink, I'm leaving combat, I'm getting out of here.
That's if you're the
Yeah.
underdog.
Mhm.
It's a weird limitation to what otherwise is supposed to be a benefit, right? Like, it doesn't, I don't think it does enough. I mean, for me, I would just ignore that. Like, if you wanted to actually get this, like, in the most efficient way possible, wouldn't you just have 3 super cheap units of light cav? Because they basically have to, like, take turns doing that. So, like, if you're envisioning this map, right, you have, let's say, 3 Marauder Horsemen, 3 units of 5. They're literally sitting there in the corral down in the Golden Nugget there.
Mhm.
And then at the end of turn one of them grabs their nugget. They run up to the red, they dump the nugget, they can go do something else. And then the other one is picking up at the same time and then runs up the next turn. And you just have to have enough units to score that for 2, 3, 4, 5 to get the most, right? I think that's when you can do it.
And not to mention they can't be set up that turn to get to drop off the nugget.
No.
So
you gotta run.
Looking at the
run.
distances here, that's probably going to be about 18 inches between objectives.
Yep, you need a cavalry unit to do it. Like a fast one is running.
Yeah.
And literally, they just have to be like in a line. They're like lining up to get their pail full of gold to run it back. I mean, you just think about it in a conga line. Like, imagine 4 little units of cavalry, each just like stepping up as they go. The first
What
one picks
in
up
the
their gold,
narrative
runs up.
gaming is this?
It's wacky, and it's a lot of points. That's 3 points a turn to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, alternatively, you could use, you could use like you could use a couple of big models for doing it too if they have fly.
Yeah.
So
But why are you using Alariel or Archeon on that,
I mean,
Because generally they're fast moving, and those Sunseeker objectives are going to be targets for both army, right? So
Yeah, I
why not
guess.
just pile in with your biggest dealer that can fly, if you have one,
Yeah.
like Ogre Mob. Well, I don't know if we're going to see Beastclaw Raiders continuing in.
All right, listen, on the cover of that book, there is some tyrant-looking motherfucker on a Rhinox,
Okay,
Stonehorn something. They gotta have a hero on a monster.
they
They
gotta.
gotta.
We
I'm
gotta
sure that's
see
coming out.
Beastclaw Raiders in that book. Beastclaw Raiders are gonna love this battle plan.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think that you could use a big stompy monster or god model to grab it for sure. Anything with the movement. But the points efficiency is going to feel a bit bad to have to go spend a turn to go sit on the red objective unless someone's already trying to get back there. Sometimes that'll line up with what they want to do, but sometimes it won't.
Yeah, right? Because it's just contesting the objective. You don't have to own the objective.
Nope. And I guess it is any Golden Lions objective. So to be fair, you don't have to go back to your own. You can go take theirs and then drop your treasure off there.
Yeah,
so maybe
wait
that's
a
the
minute.
thing.
Yeah, so you can do some whack-a-mole shit.
I guess it's funny. You can be aggressive with it and like use this as a launch board to go conquer the enemy territory, or you can just like create your bucket brigade and bring it back home. But I mean, either way, this is a weird one.
I mean, it's a Prince Forgery charge right over to the red if somebody's sitting on it, right?
Yeah.
Same with the Lariel, same with anything on a big base. You're starting, at 9 though, so there's going to be a little bit of a huff and puff to get there. But then if you're the underdog, you kind of got an even quicker move for it, right? So like, there's a lot of ways you can probably eat your guys.
Yeah, and you got to charge afterwards. Doesn't stop you from doing that. Okay. All right, cool.
Yep.
This one's fun.
Yeah, no, it is.
Very wacky.
Treacherous Ground, Battle Plan 10. We're almost there, guys. Who is this one?
Get it, Matt.
This is me on the
That's
ground.
me.
That is treacherous.
It's
The twist. At the start of the battle, all objectives are stable. That's not very twisty. That's very stable. Both players must use the Tread Carefully ability. Then from the second battle round onwards, if you're the underdog, you can use the Violent Tremor ability. So once per battle, army, start of first battle round. When you tread carefully, you pick an objective within friendly territory to be the target. And target's no longer stable. And then, once per battle round, at the start of the battle round, there's violent tremors. You pick a pair of objectives to be the target. The stable target objective is no longer stable. The other target objective is stable instead. So you're playing seesaw. It's worth noting we got 6 objectives on here, and 2 of them are in no man's land, and in the center of the board, or not the center of the board, the center of the edges.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense to anyone. Those are not the paired objectives. But the paired objectives don't matter in this one. Or actually they do.
Set up as 16 quadrants or 16 areas.
Mm-hmm.
It's the far left and far right, the middle 2 of them there are no man's land. So
it's 22 by 15 of no man's land on each edge of the board from the center. So the pairs you can seesaw, apparently. Each player scores victory points at the end of each of their turn as follows. Score 3 if you control at least one stable objective. Okay, fairly easy, maybe, unless it flips. Score 3 if you control 2 or more stable objectives. Again. Okay. Score 4 if you control more stable objectives than your opponent. So, violent tremor is pick a pair of objectives. Now, I don't think it is counting for the color of these objectives. Is that correct? Because I can't understand.
It would only be the golden lions or the yellow suns. So
yeah,
that's gonna be funny, right? Because the 2 objectives in the middle of no man's land are always stable. So are super valuable here because you can't be trickerood because otherwise only one of the other objectives in your territory is ever on. So there's really, after things get going, there should be a maximum of 3 objectives available, 4 objectives available, sorry, to fight over. And then the underdog can pull their trick where they just flip the one that you think is stable versus not stable or wherever it matters and then make it harder.
Yeah.
So this is a fun one, but also I don't know. I mean, I like the theme. I like the setup. I like the weird little map. I don't like that Treacherous Crown doesn't do anything to the people having tectonic tremors under them. No mortal wounds? Come on now.
Or doesn't have their movement or something.
Yeah, just
remove the dice from charging.
You're gonna be running through each other at least twice just to get to each of these objectives. I can see like a in the background.
100%.
You know,
need a horse for that. Yes.
Hilariously, you can stop on the way to your next paired objectives because both places of power are in the center of the board.
I need 3 good elves and a turtle stat.
I feel like this is going to be a weird one or a particularly hard one to score high on.
Mm-hmm.
I would hope, but
so much terrain in all these maps. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's great. Lots of woods in this one.
And again, I want to point out another 6 objective. A lot of these have either been 5 or 6 objectives, and yet again, the places of power are not accessible in the first battle round.
No, there's the big fight place of power, and or the other one right in the middle after you decide to go commit to it. But all right, well, the theme is emerging, guys, and now on to Battle Plan 11. Is that you, Matt, now, or were we?
Oh, I just went.
Yeah, that's you, Jay.
That was me. Oh my God, it came all the way around.
Spreading. It's spreading.
Deployment.
Escape from the coast. What is going on here? Okay.
I love
Twist.
I love
you are the underdog. Yes, you can use the ability of to the ships where you pick the Heldenhain or the Sunseeker's objective to be the target, which is the 2 little sunbursts on the edge of no man's land or the one in no man's land, and you remove the target from the battlefield. So you can take away those objectives, I guess. And each player scores victory points into their turns as follows: 3 for one objective, 3 for two, and 4 if you control more than your opponent. So the weird thing here is that the underdog has the option to start lifting the gold and the black objective, which is half the battlefield. So if they were aggressive about this and it somehow like you had an early lead and then they were milking it from behind to just sort of siphon away your ability to get objectives later, they could just own the other half of the battlefield and do really well with the golden lions and the blue comet. So yeah, this is a weird one. The to the ships thing, I'm not sure what they're going for with that, other than maybe they're taking off with the treasure in the no man's land, getting out of there.
Screaming yard all the way.
Yeah,
It
it's
feels
cool.
more like we're running towards our main territory instead of going to the neutrals. I feel that this is get away from the ships.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, because no objective is explicitly worth more than the others, but if you start lifting them because of the underdog factor, there's definitely an asymmetry to where the remaining ones will be. So this is
I
actually
guess
kind of
that
a
would
more
be literally
straightforward
going
one.
to the ship, but
Yeah.
but you're already there. It's whatever.
It's true.
Oh,
I think
Rocco's
this one's
not
pretty
feeling this one.
straightforward.
Huh.
It's kind of straightforward. It's
I mean,
just
no,
like
I feel the battle plan. I think the name is stupid.
there's no
Ah.
thematic underpinning. It doesn't go deep enough.
No.
Coastal pun.
Right.
I knew you'd be hurt by it too as a deep kin.
Oh,
Worse.
the
It looks like the
silence
West
is-
Coast is the better one. That's not true.
Oh,
Shipping
Best
East
Coast. Best Coast.
All right. Obviously, our always strikes late brains are getting to us. We do
Yeah.
have one more mission. Rocco,
Okay.
This is you, right?
Hey, we remembered. Here we go. Fourth
Yeah, we
time's
did
the
it. We did
charm.
it. Hey, I have a
Power of
50-50
the
chance
realms.
every time.
All right, Power of the Realms. Focus it up here. Twist at the start of the battle. The Sunseeker objectives is the primary objectives, and the other objectives are secondary. Great. If you are the underdog, you can use the following ability: Arcane Charge. Once per battle, start of battle round. Pick a place of power you control to be the target. All right, we're back to controlling. But oh, look at the map. My God.
Mhm.
5 objectives again. The places of power on the flanks, or the big ones at least. So you pick that place of power, draw a straight line from the center of the primary objective to the target. The place of power you control is the target. If that line crosses any secondary objectives, the first secondary objective the line crosses is now the primary objective, and all the others are secondary. That was a lot of words, fellas. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, they made a very confusing way of explaining what should be a simple thing, I think.
Listen, when it's not 2 a.m, I am generally kind of smart.
Breaking our late night brains here, guys. This is definitely not.
Listen, I was ranked 10th in my high
game.
school. The problem was there was 9 people, but
Hey, I have confidence.
in the center. Oh, you. I was an honors student. I was in the honors society. Don't worry about me. Draw a straight line from the center of the primary objective, because we only have the one primary, which is the Sunseeker. Okay, so the idea is, if you're the underdog, you use this ability to draw a straight line from whatever the primary is, and then whether it's you control the one to make the blue one important, or the black one important, and then the rest is just secondary.
Maybe I'm crazy, but as a non-advanced geometrician, it just seems like it's tug of war. So if you activate your place of power,
this is 100% tug. This is what was because not Battle for the Past. What was the other one? Border War. This is Border War.
Yeah.
This is 100% Border War, and the scoring, how it works is control 3 points if you control the primary objective. It's Border War mixed with shifting objectives. That's all.
Exactly.
Shifting objectives was what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
And you just gotta camp your place of power and try to yank it back the way you want or have a chance. But like, it'll
the only reason I'm saying it's Border War is because there's also objectives deep in the different territories. But this is just shifting objectives without rolling for dice. But you have to control a place of power because you have to control it to use it as the underdog to yank the objective. But yeah, if you control the primary, it's 3. You control 2 or more secondary objectives, it's 3, and you get 4 points if you control more objectives than your opponent.
I'd say this mission is a straightforward shit show.
Yeah,
It
I
is.
mean it's a fun like where's my more points gonna come from, but it is like a easy access to a place of power, out of the way place, the big scrum in the middle. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but shouldn't there be a big scrum to knock out one of the places that like? Yeah, I feel like you had to divide your army in half.
Well, I mean, I was just going to say this rewards that solo wizard.
Yeah, but you gotta put. I say a cav hero with some boys running around, clear that one objective, and then drop. The wizard teleports in later, and then go off. But
well, so you only get 3 for scoring the primary, right?
yeah,
So the secondaries, they're all center, right?
yeah,
So
I'm with you.
oh no, the Sunseeker starts as the primary. So
Yeah,
really,
Yeah,
all
the
you have
Sunseeker
to
starts as
do,
the primary. It starts as the primary.
really,
So it does want you to really go to the middle and beat the shit out of each other, and
Yeah.
then hopefully a hero can make the marathon sprint. Because you got to be fast, and you got to go a long fucking way.
Yeah.
well, I mean, it's in your deployment zone. Again, if you roll a 6 on a run, you're going to get there for the next turn. So easy peasy, unless you have a unit that can make like a redeploy move in.
Yeah, the extra movement from somewhere, flip over something.
I don't know of any
there's ways.
heroes. Well, there are a couple of heroes that actually do that, but
There
like,
are.
there's this
So
is
if have a
interesting.
hero with wings, they can flutter about and do this.
Mm-hmm.
And there is not a lot of obscuring on this. This is just a big shit show in the middle.
Seems like that. Not a bad thing, but
Yeah, I
very
mean,
much what it is.
I'd just grab 3 from a corner and then call it a day. If somebody wants to go ahead and do that, then I'll just send, a random unit. I'll have like I don't know, I'd send a 300 point unit just on one side, opposite where the main part of my army is deployed. 300, 400 points maybe stuck over there.
And again, I'm cool with it being shifting objectives redone. But the thing that made shifting objectives cool was the thing was random. You'd roll the dice and see where it went, right?
Mm-hmm.
With this, if you're the underdog, you still have to control a place of power.
Well, so here's the fun part. I think this is a good shooting mission.
Oh, it's a great shooting mission.
So
there's no defensive, no obscuring terrain whatsoever.
Yeah. So like, there's a couple different ways. Like, I do believe places of power are obscuring, aren't they?
No, they're not anymore.
Okay.
Not anymore.
Okay, so if you have a very small model to advantage and make your guy a hunchback, and then you're good, and I'll hide behind it. But this definitely, I think, rewards, and actually this is kind of a theme of all of these, right? These missions very much reward the deployment phase.
Oh yeah.
All of the ones in these, where some of the other missions from previous GHBs weren't as concerned, or weren't as the deployment phase. You could make mistakes and still play at a high caliber. It wouldn't punish you as much.
I said for years where we had a string of GHBs and battle plans that you wouldn't win in deployment, but you could certainly lose.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of those where you we're again, because it's all shifting objectives from back in the day. And in a lot of these, like you said, with these funky battle plans with the cutouts for neutral territory, so you can do battle tactics differently, and so many objectives on the field here, so many 5 and 6. The smallest one I think was a 4.
Mm-hmm. Yep, no 3s anymore.
Yeah, there's no what was the knife? It was 2 objectives. You got the other one, you instantly won.
Oh yeah, that was such a
Knife to the Heart. Was it
Knife to the Heart? Yeah,
that was such a fun mission.
I loved that so much.
My favorite were tournaments where that would be game 4.
Yeah, that was a good place to put it.
Yeah.
That was a good place to put it.
Quick breakfast.
Mhm.
Let's go get a nice
Yep,
breakfast.
it out. Here we go,
Yeah.
man. But
But that was back when Gargants were like unstoppable.
yeah, when they first dropped, it was
Yeah, that was a painful mission for a lot of people. So I feel the sympathetic pain.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this is just it's a shooting gallery in the middle, and
Nope, that's it.
yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
just trying to double check here because how straightforward it is. That this has to get 2 a.m. on the East Coast here. Because the only way you can make that move back is if you're the underdog. Yeah.
It can't move back at all. It just always
Mhm.
stays in a line because it's tug of war. I mean, the only thing,
Yeah.
unless you're kicking the places of power somehow at a bundo or something.
You get doubled. You can maybe
That'd
move
be
it
fun.
back to the center.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you can't. You can only ever. You have to be the underdog to move it at all.
Yeah.
And it would only ever move one anyway.
Well, it
So
can
then-
move 2 if you've got somebody there and you're underdog for 2 turns.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
submarine yourself a little early on, but I don't even know if that's worth it. It's more just
Ah.
Yeah,
you're
I mean,
just going to move left and right a little bit more. That
if you're
being
playing
said,
like a dwarf army, Matt, and they're all hard committed to the left-hand flank or something, and
Yeah, just
you tucked
don't-
over there.
Yeah,
maybe
don't
that's it.
score your battle tactics. Like, all right, cool. It's the flail maces. We're good. That's it.
yeah, sorry, little guys.
Waddle, motherfucker.
This anti-dwarfist sentiment and raging.
That's going in the book.
Yeah, I think these missions as a whole really do make you have to think about your deployment zone,
I think that's true.
how you're setting up your units, and I don't know if Alpha Strike armies are necessarily the best into most of these missions.
Mhm.
Jack, are you tapping on your desk?
No.
It's probably my chair.
Oh, okay.
That was an interesting sound. I was
It
wondering what
is.
that
I'm like,
was
wait a
too.
minute.
My weird chair. It's haunted.
Well,
Hey, it ain't me, so I'm good.
I think the fun thing about these missions is, this is like the base layer, right? We know this is what we're going to be dealing with. But next episode, dear listeners can hear us talk about these battle tactics you have to choose to get most of your points outside of the primaries and how you deal with them on this. And we're going to have this as a real fun backdrop to that when we next come together for this.
Yep, and new battle tactics, I can safely say, are all strong in their own way and all very hard to do as well in their own way. It's much more of an evening out, and they're not hard choices to make anymore. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for listening. And also, we'll talk about battle tactics in the next one. And I'm going to wiggle my fingers for anybody who is listening to just the podcast. I'm just sitting here wiggling my fingers.
It's mesmerizing. So
We didn't
even
even
if you're a
talk about the
listener,
Action
not a watcher,
Crusades.
do stop by and subscribe on YouTube too, just so you can witness that.
Yeah. Wiggling worms. They're like little worms, little
Flexibility
jointed worms.
just seems unreal.
I know.
Stop it.
Happens when you play guitar too much. Wiggle worms.
Get some
Wiggle
good
worms.
calluses and have a good time.
So
But we're in a good place.
I think so. We are in a good place of power. Hey!
Is that our final word? Is it power? Is it ash
Wacky.
cloud?
I want to go for
Spicy.
wacky.
Wacky, okay. We'll go wacky.
Wacky. Oh, I won that one too easily.
You did.
Hello, everybody. It is Rocco, your boy, coming at you once again with another Always Strikes Last promo. That's right. Ring that bell. Leave a like, a subscribe. On whatever platform you're listening to us on, be it YouTube, be it Podbean, whatever you got these days, so you can keep up to date. Don't forget, we have a Patreon, if you want to, give us a thank you for all the stuff we put out. That gets you into our member-exclusive Discord. And if you want to be an even bigger supporter, we've got a merch store.